Okay. Sorry for the long wait. I wanted to make sure that my teeth was nice and clean before we got started. So, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Well, actually, let me make sure things are lined up properly so when I switch over. Yes, there we go. All right, cool. Let me get my headphones in. Okay, we're good to go. Yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here. Welcome back to People's Choice, where every other Saturday, viewers like you, people like you, not just viewers, but people like you, send in videos that you guys would like for me to react to, either through how I post it on my community post for you guys to put the videos there, or tag me in videos you guys would like for me to react to over on my Discord. So, we got quite a few things to watch today. It's good to see everyone here, and I hope your day has been good overall. Time to see what is going on with, well, some of these videos you guys kind of have lined up for me. So let me get chat here off to the side, and then we can go ahead and get started. Yo, okay, I see you, Yaya. I see you, Katsu. I see you, Hybrid, and I see you in Kratos. It's good to see all of you. Let's go ahead and get started. So first off, we have 10 biggest earthquakes in all history. Hold. We have the 10 biggest earthquakes in all history, and this was sent in by Rocks. So let me make sure that the desktop audio is up, YouTube audio is up. Let me know if I have to turn it down, and let's get started.
Earthquakes are one of nature's most terrifying forces. They often strike with little warning and can cause as much destruction as an atomic weapon. History is filled with examples of powerful quakes, but a select few stand out among the rest. Here are the 10 biggest earthquakes in all history.
This is from Underworld again. This is yet another YouTube channel that we've witnessed before when it comes to
Kobe is the seventh largest city in Japan, with a
natural
population of
disaster
1.5
videos and
million
such.
People. It's on par with cities like Philadelphia and San Diego. Kobe was one of the first Japanese cities to trade with other countries after the 265-year policy of seclusion ended in 1853. The policy strictly limited which countries could trade with Japan and basically barred anyone from entering or leaving the country. Kobe's economy exploded when it ended, becoming an important port city for...
Hold up, something just flew in front of my face. What in the world? Where did that come from? Hold on. You say you think the bug wants to watch videos with us as well? Sorry. No. Sorry. We're not going to be doing that today. Yeah, that would have distracted me the whole time if I just straight up ignored it. So, bug is gone and disposed of. Let's continue before we were so rudely interrupted. Little gnat.
For Japanese trade. They grew and grew for over 150 years, until a massive earthquake in 1995 set them back a couple of decades. Known as the Great Hanshin Earthquake, or the Kobe Earthquake, the 6.9 magnitude tremor lasted for 20 terrifying seconds, causing more than $100 billion in damage. According to National Geographic, the earthquake claimed 6,000 lives and left another 45,000 homeless. Encyclopedia Britannica puts that homeless figure closer to 300,000 across the Hanshin region. In just 20 seconds, the Kobe earthquake damaged 240,000 homes and left millions without water or electricity.
Think about this for a second. How structurally sound freeways tend to be. And a 20-second earthquake basically broke this thing all the way down. That's just a 6.9. Japan went through a 7.1 like earlier last month.
The tremor began north of Awaji Island, about 12 miles away from Kobe's city center. It struck at 5:46 a.m., just as the city woke up on a Tuesday morning. It was the worst earthquake to hit Japan since the Tokyo-Yokohama earthquake in 1923, which claimed 140,000 lives. Japan is a hotbed for seismic activity as it sits on the borders of 4 tectonic plates: the Pacific, North American, Eurasian, and Filipino. These plates rub into each other all the time. The pressure builds as they collide, eventually releasing and causing earthquakes, tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions. Once the quake subsided, 1.2 million volunteers flocked to Kobe to help with the relief effort. Companies like 7-Eleven used their supply chains to deliver supplies to needy people, and Motorola provided free telephone service for the victims. Even the Yakuza got involved with the relief effort, spreading food and supplies among needy victims. The organized crime syndicate played a major role in the relief effort due to the Japanese government's slow response. Tangshan is a prefecture-level city in northeastern China, residing on the shore of the Yellow Sea. The metro area is home to over 3.6 million people and owes everything it has to a robust coal mining industry that began in 1870. They built China's first standard gauge railway, the most popular railroad type in the world. Historians call it China's cradle of industrialization. But Tangshan's entire coal mining industry almost got wiped out after a powerful earthquake struck the city in 1976. Dubbed the Great Tangshan Earthquake, the natural disaster registered as a 7.6 magnitude earthquake, almost as powerful as the Great San Francisco Earthquake of 1906, a 7.9 magnitude tremor. The Tangshan earthquake struck at 3:42 a.m., with the epicenter located in the southern part of the city. Its tremors were so powerful that people felt the ground shaking 680 miles away in every direction. Within minutes, 85% of the buildings in Tangshan were destroyed or unusable. Sadly, the Tangshan earthquake was one of the deadliest natural disasters in recorded history, claiming 242,000 lives on the low end. Though some people believe that figure could be as high.
On the low end? 242,000? That's on the low end?
As 665,000. Most people sleeping in unreinforced homes built of brick, rock, and concrete lost their lives that morning. Later that afternoon, a powerful 7.0 magnitude aftershock hit about 43 miles northeast of the city, causing additional damage and restricting rescue efforts. As for the coal mines, 10,000 miners were underground when the earthquake struck. Most of them made it out, but floods and power outages made the mines useless for several days. While they got the power back a few days later, it did take a year and a half to recover from the flooding and structural damage. They didn't reach pre-quake production levels until the end of 1977. Gorkha is one of 77 districts that make up Nepal, a thin Himalayan country between India and Tibet. It's the fourth largest city by area and traces back to the legendary Gurkha soldiers and the creation of modern Nepal. But those soldiers could do little to help during a 2015 earthquake that rocked Nepal to its core. On April 25th of 2015, at about 11:56 a.m., a 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck east of Gorkha district. Thankfully, many people in the urban areas were working outdoors when the earthquake occurred, which drastically reduced the loss of life. Still, almost 9,000 people perished and another 22,000 were hurt. The 2015 earthquake was the worst natural disaster to strike Nepal since the Bihar-Nepal earthquake in 1934. Aftershocks continued for several days. Two, registering at a 6.6 and 6.7, happened within 24 hours. Then, on May 12th, 2 weeks after the initial quake, a 7.3 struck, injuring 1,900 more people and claiming over 100 more lives. April 25th of 2015 was also the deadliest day on Mount Everest. The Nepal earthquake triggered an avalanche on Mount Pumori, which slid all the way to South Base Camp on Mount Everest. 22 people in the camp were buried and passed away in the snow. This avalanche occurred almost a full year after the second deadliest day on Mount Everest in 2014, when 16 climbing Sherpas became the victims of an ice avalanche. Even though the Himalayan region is one of the most seismically active places on Earth, powerful earthquakes of 6.0 magnitude or above are pretty rare. The last one to strike before 2015 was a 6.9 quake in 1988. Before that was an 8.0 quake in 1934, which claimed over 10,000 lives.
So, I'm not going to say it's the scary thing about Everest, but the thing about Everest is there isn't enough resources to grab every single person who gets stuck up there. And often, people have to remain up there because the efforts of trying to find people who have been left on that mountain would simply take too much time. Not enough resources, not enough helicopters. It would be a whole bunch to get a whole lot of that sort of rescue effort together. So there are, who knows how many people are just up there, still on that mountain, never recovered at all. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I'm kind of curious about this. Let me search up. Yep, 200. It says more than 340 people have died on Mount Everest, and it is estimated that approximately 200 bodies still remain on the mountain. 200 bodies are still there. Okay.
Sichuan is a landlocked province in central China. Right
Also, let me know how my volume sounds.
About 83 million people.
Yo, Ravi, good to see you. Hope your day's been good. We're checking out 10 biggest earthquakes in the world.
They've been historically known as
this is our first video.
Abundance, as they are one of China's biggest agricultural producers. In 2008, a massive 8.0 magnitude earthquake caused untold destruction in Sichuan province, claiming almost 69,000 lives and injuring another 300.
Have I seen Spider-Man? Not yet. I have not seen Spider-Man.
174,000. Known as the Great Sichuan Earthquake, it struck on May 12th of 2008 at about 2:30 in the afternoon. It was so powerful that people 930 miles away in Beijing and 1,000 miles away in Shanghai.
Video volume can be slightly higher. Oh, it's Kitty! Okay. Let me bring up the video volume just a bit.
Shanghai felt the ground shake. Even people in Thailand and Vietnam reported feeling the tremors. The 2-minute earthquake destroyed 80% of the buildings close to
It's good to see all of my peoples up in
Meanwhile,
here.
people evacuated office buildings in the Shanghai Financial District. In Beijing, media personnel and organizers for the 2008 Summer Olympics had to flee their offices in fear. While they felt the quake, none of the Olympic buildings suffered any damage. In Hue County, east of Sichuan, a 13-car petrol train derailed and caught fire after the earthquake distorted the tracks. Rescue efforts weren't easy either. The earthquake damaged most of the highways leading to the most damaged villages. 2 chemical plants collapsed in Shifang City, burying 100 people and causing 80 tons of liquid ammonia to leak into the environment. A school in Dujiangyan, a city southeast of the epicenter, collapsed on 900 students. Less than 60 survived. At least 7,000 on 900 students. Less than 60 survived. Center collapsed on 900 students. Less than 60 survived. At least 7,000 school buildings collapsed.
Hold on. Ah, okay. I had a feeling. Hold on. I think I know what it is. Check. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Okay, how are we sounding here? Is this way more comfortable? How's this sound? This okay? I think my gain was just a little bit too high. So we should be fine now. Yeah. Volume-wise, I think we should be fine now. I shouldn't be peaking because I really don't need to be all that close to my microphone to begin with, but my volume should be just a tad bit better. Better? Okay. Let me just bring it up a smidge without it going into the red zone. Better, a tad bit louder though. Okay, okay. Hold on. This happens from time to time, everybody. Volume can be slightly higher. Okay, let me bring out the output gain. Okay. All right, I think we should be fine. As long as my meter doesn't go into the red zone, we shouldn't have to worry about too much peaking. My volume is high enough. We'll test it out once I switch back over to the video to see how it is. All right, let's see.
Collapsed because of the earthquake.
Okay, so how's my volume sound in comparison to the actual video itself?
Less than 60
sound
survived.
good?
At least 7,000 school
That way I
buildings
can just have my
collapsed
chair
because of
right
the
here
earthquake,
and just speak into
and
the
many
mic without,
blamed shoddy
losing
construction
anything.
practices.
Much better?
Tan
Good,
Zuoren, a writer
good.
and environmentalist, investigated
That's what I like
the
to
school
hear.
fatalities and was arrested
Yeah,
after
this is
reporting
perfect.
that
Okay, I'm not touching it
5,600
anymore.
kids
I'm
lost
not
their
touching it
lives
anymore.
because of poorly built schools. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison for inciting subversion of state power. The country of Chile breaks down into 16 first-order regions. One of those regions, the Maule region, sits in the center of Chile's
Video
long
audio is
landmass.
louder than you,
It's
but
named
both
after
are
the Maule
stable.
River,
Okay.
which garners some historical
But
interest as it
I need to make sure
marks
that the
southern
video
border of the
volume
ancient
isn't
Inca Empire.
too loud
Today,
over
Maule
me,
thrives on
so that way I
forestry,
can say what I need to
agriculture,
say,
and wine.
even if the
In
video
fact,
is still
the Maule
going,
region is
so that
Chile's
nothing
biggest
really
winemaker,
conflicts.
producing 50%
So I turned
of
the
country's
video volume
exports.
down on
In February
YouTube.
of 2010, everyone up and down the Chilean coast definitely deserved a drink. On February 27th of that year, an 8.8 magnitude earthquake struck about 2 miles off the coast of Peyúgue, a small town of 6,600 people. The quake struck at 3:34 a.m., when perhaps only the local winemakers were awake and tending
There
their
you go.
vineyards. The intense
Awesome!
shaking lasted for 3 grueling minutes.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, it's officially August. I completely I completely, well, I'm not going to say I completely forgot because I knew it was August, but it's like, it's August. It's August now. It's August. And you know what this means? Next month is Marvel's Wolverine and Control Resonant. Ah! I am so excited. I'm so excited. August is, well, I'll explain it in my channel update video once I make it. But as it stands right now, August is going to be a nice, chill month for us before things start to pick up in September. So, yeah, welcome to August.
And 6 other Chilean regions felt the tremors. About 80% of Chile's population lived in these affected regions. Some shaking was even felt 1,500 miles away in southern Peru. But the Chilean earthquake didn't just shake the ground. It also triggered a tsunami that wreaked havoc on coastal towns in south-central Chile. 53 countries issued tsunami warnings, and the wave even caused minor damage as far north as San Diego and as
All right,
far
Kitty,
west
thank you
as
for
Japan.
stopping by.
Back
You
on the
have a
mainland,
wonderful
blackouts
rest, and hopefully we'll see you a little bit later.
93% of the Chilean population, and then President Michelle Bachelet declared a state of catastrophe. While extremely powerful, the 2010 earthquake only claimed 525 lives, but losses to the Chilean economy were estimated between $15 billion.
That's $50. Why are you burning it? You don't need to make a point. I hope that's fake. Why would you burn $50? It's $50. Why would you burn that? Money is money. Why would you burn $50? Give it to me. I'll show you what you can do with $50. Get you a good sandwich and a snack. Why would you burn $50? Why would you do this? Why would you, you know the phrase, got money to burn? Why would you burn it? Why would you burn it? Why? Why would you do this?
And $30 billion. In fact, the 2010 earthquake was the second most powerful in Chilean history. First place goes to the Great Chilean Earthquake of 1960, which registered between 9.4 and 9.6, depending on who you ask. To this day, the Great Chilean Earthquake is the strongest earthquake ever recorded in human history. But more on that later.
We're at 5.
The country of Russia is not one you likely associate with earthquakes, so it might be a bit of a surprise to learn that one of the largest in all of history occurred here. Back on November 4th of 1952, a magnitude 9.0 earthquake struck just off the east.
9 point what?
1952, a magnitude 9.0 earthquake struck just off the east.
Okay, so in the second to last People's Choice reaction stream that we did, we learned about the magnitudes of earthquakes, which ones are extremely powerful. Actually, I think it was the second to last one, if not the third to last one that we did, where we learned about a whole bunch of earthquakes and how powerful they are, and that anything 8 and past that is considered catastrophic to human life. You mean to tell me one hit Russia and it was 9?
Eastern coast of the country. The quake triggered several tsunamis in the region. This was worsened by the fact that it occurred just 81 miles away from the shore. While that part of the country is rather remote, there was one area that was hit particularly hard: the Kamchatka Peninsula. Here, 3 tsunamis occurred, ranging from 4 to 18 meters high. Each wave struck with a lengthy amount of time in between, so each time residents would escape to higher ground only to come back down when they thought the coast was clear. This left thousands of people exposed when the second wave hit. Unfortunately, it was the third wave that was the largest and most destructive. Once all was said and done, between 10,000 and 15,000 people lost their lives. Russia wasn't the only country impacted by the quake. Roughly 6 hours later, Hawaii was struck by a small tsunami which damaged several ships. The power of this earthquake was enough to send a wave across the Pacific Ocean in less than 10 hours, something that very few quakes have done before. Had it not been for the remoteness of the region, who knows how many more lives would have been lost. If you know anything about earthquakes, then you know there's no way to leave out one of the most historic of all time. In 2011, Japan was hit with the most powerful earthquake the country has ever felt. The quake struck only 43 miles off the east coast of Oshika Peninsula and produced a tsunami that claimed thousands of lives and caused billions of dollars in damage. When it first hit, the entire island of Honshu shook violently. In fact, it was so intense that the geographical position of the island moved roughly 8 feet east. The tsunami itself measured in at around 42.
An earthquake so powerful it moves your entire country over one. Mind you, it moved the entirety of Japan over 8 feet. It's not just like, oh, one section. It's the whole country got moved.
Feet high, and it absolutely devastated the Japanese mainland. To make matters worse, it caused severe damage to the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, causing a level 7 meltdown in 3 of the reactors. It was the worst nuclear disaster since the Chernobyl explosion in 1986. So, along with the death toll, an additional 228,863 people are still having to live away from their homes due to how contaminated the area is. It's hard to put into one video just how astounding the damage from this event was. Japan's National Police Agency estimates that around 45,000 buildings were completely destroyed and another 144,000 were damaged. Somewhere between 15,000 and 20,000 people are believed to have lost their lives, and the total economic loss is estimated to be north of $200 billion.
Man. Still irradiated, so people still can't go back to their original homes.
There are only a few that stand out, and the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami is one of them. On December 26th...
Why is your last message not showing in chat? The only thing I've seen is earthquake. I have been in a big one, but I haven't seen anything up until then until you posted one of the stickers, and then your most recent one you put up there. Sometimes YouTube flags a few messages, but if it was flagged, it would let me know to either show or hide it, but I don't see anything, which is so weird.
A magnitude 9.1 earthquake,
another
9.1, just off the west coast of northern Sumatra, Indonesia, struck just under the sea floor. The quake lasted for 8 to 10 minutes, making it the longest duration ever recorded. The violent shaking, however, ended up being the least of the problems for the surrounding countries. Not long after things began, the first tsunami waves reached the coastlines of several Indian Ocean countries. But the worst hit of them were Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Thailand, India, and Myanmar. In some areas, the wave crashed into land at over 100 feet high. Just try to imagine that. Sadly, the suddenly receding tide, which is the first warning sign of an impending wave, mesmerized many people on the beach. By the time they realized what was up, for many, it was too late. Official reports claim that over
Yeah. This man said it created a tsunami with waves over 100 feet high. 100 feet high. You see that in movies, but they're real. 100-foot waves? Oh! Okay. I live in California. Tony, it's good to see you. Live in California. There's supposed to be a huge earthquake that's going to happen soon over here. Pretty scary. I need you to be careful while you're over there. And that goes without saying, but that accounts for basically everybody that's here. Please be careful wherever you go. Bro, Oars is like 60 feet. Yeah, Oars is 60 feet, but waves 100 feet. If you have time, can you react to a new Indian movie trailers called Ramayana? I actually already reacted to Ramayana, and this was in... I want to say this was in the first stream that Kratos actually tuned into. It was either him or someone else that... I think it was the stream where we were watching people operate heavy machineries and rock crushers, and then dude just had flip-flops on. I think it was that same stream where I already reacted to the Ramayana trailer.
227,000 people across 14 countries lost their lives. The 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami was one of the costliest and deadliest natural disasters in recorded
I'll take those
history.
$100.
Scientists were
Also, a
stunned
holster,
that an earthquake
yo!
that powerful could have such an effect on the Earth. It was a
I'll take
stark
all those
reminder
hundreds.
that no matter how much we prepare and plan, we are always at the mercy of Mother Nature.
I was not there for that. I think I came after that. I think it was before you
On March
came in.
27th of 1964, a 9.2 magnitude quake shook south central Alaska for a full 4 minutes and 38 seconds, causing massive amounts of damage, opening ground fissures, collapsing structures, and producing tsunamis that caused about 131 deaths. Named the Great Alaskan Earthquake, it now holds the title as the second most powerful ever recorded. On
Is
a
that the
geological
broke up
scale,
ground
this
from the earthquake?
Dwarfed any others. 600 miles of the fault line ruptured at the same time, releasing hundreds of years of built-up stress and moving up to 60 feet in the course of the 4 minute and 38 seconds. Huge cracks opened in the earth, destroying roads and property. Landslides occurred due to soil liquefaction in more mountainous regions. There were even some areas near the island of Kodiak that permanently rose by 30 feet. However, others around the city of Anchorage dropped as much as 8 feet. Underwater landslides collapsed the Valdez City harbor and docks, resulting in the deaths of 32 people. Tsunamis up to 27 feet washed away villages up and down the Alaskan coast. Luckily, the death toll was very low due to the sparsely populated area in which it occurred. But the images of the disaster are enough to show you just how extreme it was. You can only imagine what would have happened had it occurred near a major city.
Okay, we're at number 1. What's number 1?
It's hard to imagine an earthquake more powerful than any of these already mentioned. How much more powerful can things really get? On May 22nd of 1960, residents of Valdivia, Chile found out the answer. On that day, a magnitude 9.4 to 9.6 earthquake struck near the town of Lumaco. The ruptured area spanned a length of between 500 and 1,000 kilometers, or 311 to 621 miles. Prior to this, there was increased seismic activity leading up to the main
Rox,
event.
good to see
When
you.
it finally hit, it caused localized tsunamis with waves as high as 82 feet to crash into some seaside villages.
More tsunamis the height of which they shouldn't be. Just crashing into buildings. 82-foot waves crashing into buildings. And none of these houses is even 20 feet. But 82-foot high tsunamis. That is what? 18? Yeah. 18 more feet, and then it would be 100 feet to crash and just completely destroy all of these houses. But 82 feet is still too big. It's still too big. Alaska had a tsunami over 1,000 feet a few years ago. Hold on. Oh, okay. Lituya Bay, 1958. An earthquake triggered a massive rockfall of 40 million cubic yards into the bay, pushing water up the steep slopes to a record run-up height of 1,720 feet, 524 meters. Then there was one last year. Tracy Arm, 2025. A massive Non-earthquake coastal rock landslide dropped 64 million cubic meters of debris into the fjord, generating a water run-up height of 1,580 feet, 481 meters, making it the second highest wave ever measured globally. So the highest tsunamis ever created occurred around Alaska. One in 1958 and the other one literally last year. The highest tsunamis ever. Ozzy, it's good to see you. 1,720 feet, and then the next one is just slightly smaller than that. I have a doubt. How did they even measure these heights during the 1950s? So if I pull up the 1954 Lituya Bay earthquake and mega tsunami, let me go down to it. The Lituya Bay mega tsunami caused damage at higher elevations than any other tsunami, being powerful enough to push water up the tree-covered slopes of the fjord with enough force to clear trees to a reported height of 524 meters. A 1 to 675 recreation of the tsunami found the wave crest was 150 meters, 490 feet tall. 5 people were killed, many people were injured, and many homes destroyed. 2 people in a fishing boat died from a wave in the bay. 2 more people, a fishing boat captain and his 7-year-old son, were struck by the wave and lifted high into the air by the swell. Remarkably, both survived with minimal injuries. Imagine the largest tsunami in history and you survive it. That's something that no one can ever touch. You survived the highest and most powerful tsunami in history. You and your son. Remarkably, both survived with minimal injuries. In Yakutat, the only permanent settlement close to the epicenter at the time, infrastructure such as bridges, docks, and oil lines all sustained damage. A wave tower collapsed and a cabin was damaged beyond repair. Sand boils and fissures occurred near the coast southeast of there, and underwater cables that supported the Alaska communication system were cut. Lighter damage was also reported in Pelican and Sitka. Sitka reminds me of that one character from Brother Bear, the first movie. It ripped limbs off trees and swept many away, decimating the shoreline surrounding forests and leaving the high tide line barren and with few upright surviving trees except on the northern and southern edges. The mega tsunami flooded the entire bay and created a damage line up to 213 meters, 699 feet around the outline of the bay, with evidence of this damage line still visible from space to this day. This tsunami was so powerful you can still see the damage from it from space. Wow. And this is why I wouldn't live near a beach, let alone near water, period. I don't blame you. The water literally ripped the ground and soil off, exposing the igneous rock. Wow. When they say that water has enough power to move mountains, this is what they mean. Also, I think you need to change the sub goal to the usual place if you want. I only had it over there because people couldn't see what was being shown when I was playing Disgaea Mayhem the other day. I never did move it right back over here to where it needed to be. But it's all good. Okay. All right. Yeah, okay. We're good now. Miss Kitty would be more capable in explaining how the landslide occurred. That side of geology is not my forte. She recently left us because she was feeling sleepy, so we'll probably have to poke her brain about it a little bit later on when she's more rested. This is partially why I imagine having to deal with things like this. People call me crazy for being scared of water, by the way. Oh, ain't nothing wrong with that. It's one thing to be able to swim in water, but that doesn't guarantee your safety. That's a crazy thing. You can learn to swim in water, but that doesn't mean you'll be fine in it. There are a few mansions that literally went into the ocean this year in Los Angeles. Yeah, because wasn't there like a big storm that hit Los Angeles? I think. Yeah. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Because we're almost done with this video and we can move on to the next.
The tsunami
my
also
pop
impacted
filter.
faraway lands such as Hawaii, New Zealand, and Japan, among
Oh,
others.
snap.
While countless
I hit
towns
the wrong
and villages
screen.
were
I hit the wrong
impacted
button.
by this disaster, the
Yeah.
most devastated
Yeah, I'm
was
so
the city
glad
of
that y'all
Valdivia.
couldn't see
Here, nearly half
that
the
y'all
city's
couldn't see my
buildings
pop
were
filter
left
fall off.
uninhabitable, as can be seen in the few aftermath photos that are available. Still, historians claim the level of damage was relatively low given the extremely high magnitude of the quake. This is mostly due to the limited amount of development in areas closest to the epicenter. In the end, some 2 million people were left homeless, around 3,000 were injured, and approximately 1,000 to 6,000 lost their lives. The total economic cost is believed to be in the range of $550 million, which would be nearly $5 billion if adjusted for inflation. Well, that's all we have for today. If you want to see another video just like this, then be sure to click the link on screen now. As always, thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in next time.
That cop in that one video looks like he has like a birthday hat on. Am I the only one who thinks that it looks that way to him? But man, these earthquakes are crazy. Earthquakes and the tsunamis that they produce as well. Okay, so that was the 10 biggest earthquakes in all history. Let's go ahead, and I'm pressing the wrong thing. Let's go ahead and check out the next video. Oh, it's actually a good thing that Kitty is not here. It's actually a good thing that Kitty is not here. Because we're about to check out underwater sea barnacles and propellers and stuff. Yeah, it looks exactly like yeah, it does, but believe it's a Christmas tree. All right, let's get the next one up. I'm glad Kitty's not here. 12 minutes of divers scraping barnacles off of an undersea propeller. So the thing that gets me about being underwater like this is that these fish, they got way more visibility and they can see better than me under the water. Like, you look up, you can see the surface, you can see the brightness, but you look down, you see nothing. That's why I ain't going diving. That's why I'm never going diving. Also, when you're underwater, you really don't have a good sense of what's up and down simply because you're kind of semi-weightless in this space. It's like being in the void of space, but, you know, the weight of water itself is on you rather than you just there not being any gravity. Like, this is a job for people. They dive underwater just to scrape off barnacles off of a ship. Because barnacles like to stay attached to a ship for some reason. Is she uncomfortable seeing underwater or something? Not underwater, just underwater propellers. You won't see that barracuda coming towards you until it's too late, and barracudas are fast. So, and barracudas are fast, and human bodies are not fast in water. There's a reason why many people need flippers on their feet in order for us to just swim even remotely faster and have better control. But fish, nah, that's their home turf. And you are left at the mercy of the sea and the creatures in it whenever you jump in there. Because I've never known a single person to jump into water with all sorts of different fish, hostile as well and be like, nah, I'd win. No, we are at a considerable environmental disadvantage. Our bodies are not made to be in water. They're not made to stay in it. They're not made to live in it. We're made for land. This got your anxiety acting up? Now, here's another thing that comes into my mind. You gotta be sure you got a good grip, because if that thing falls, you have to go get it back. You can't just drop the scraper and then be all like, well, I'm just gonna swim down there and pick it up from the bottom, because we don't even know how deep this section of the ocean is for him. Didn't know you can skip it, sir? We can watch just a little bit of it, but then we can move on. It's creepy how underwater you can't tell up from down. Yeah, and the thing is, the deeper you go, the harder it is for you to actually know when to stop. Because when it comes to it being in water, our bodies can only take so much pressure until it gets to the point where we need, special devices to help us, or machines to help us, or even full-on vehicles in order to get us down there. But you won't catch anyone actually going down to the bottom of the sea simply because the pressure gets even more intense the closer down you go, to the point where, well, we all know what happened to that submarine that tried to go deeper than it was supposed to. We read up on that whole history of that foolish inventor and all the people he dragged down to the depths with him. So it's more so for me when it comes to the ocean. I like being able to see where I'm going. When the water starts to get murky and I can't see it, that tells me that I shouldn't be in there. Because if I can't see it, if I can't see the end of where I'm heading or the direction that I'm heading and it's just dark in front of me, like what's to stop like a giant sperm whale from hitting me head on? And mind you, whales are massive. They're not soft. They're not soft. These things are like Titanic-sized tanks that can also move quickly in water. You've never seen a person outswim a whale, because whales are just, their whole bodies, while they got fat, they're also just pure muscle as well. So you'll never see a person outswim a whale. So having something like that hit you underwater, that amount of force. Have you ever seen an orca rush into a shark before? Like like a regular killer whale, like a regular orca, just torpedo into a shark far faster than any human could even react and move. It's for me. People who dive, sure, enjoy it as much as you want. You won't catch me scuba diving. You won't catch me diving into no deep waters. You won't catch me doing any of that. So people who be scraping barnacles, y'all better be getting paid good. Y'all better be getting paid better than anyone else, because working on a ship, it comes with its own occupational hazards. But working on a ship underwater, and you have to stay underwater in order to scrape off barnacles, which can take hours, and you have to make sure that you get them all off. And barnacles spread like cordyceps. And this is just one section, and you got the entire underside of a ship as well. A whale's tail alone weighs several tons and it'll break bones. I imagine it. That's the reason why people get mad, not mad, but people get scared when a whale breaches right next to them and their tails are coming up as well, because if it hits that person, it's an instant concussion. Did this video just repeat? Hold on, did this video just repeat? This isn't the same one, is it? Hold on. Wait. Think they're different hooks? Yeah. I'm looking at these white markings that's on the side, like right here where you see where his hand is, his other hand down on the bottom loop. I'm trying to see if the next one has those same markings, because if it's the same markings, then they're kind of repeating the video. That's why I'm trying to pay attention to it. Yeah, right there, the little squiggly lines down at the bottom. Right there where his blade is going, and it's gone. Never mind. I'm trying to see. Wouldn't do this even if they gave you $1 million. What if they have you on the outside of the ship, but you're on like one of those little swing pulley things, and you have to scrape off the barnacles off of the ship that's above water? Would you do it then? No, I think this is a different one. Yeah, I think it's a different one. Maybe above water, I would have some clue as to how it can go wrong. Underwater is a whole other thing. Really scared of uncertainties. I can understand it. I can definitely understand it. Just the uncertainty. That's the reason why I would never be a window washer on a skyscraper. I would never be like the type of individual that's working in construction and I have to climb up really high and I gotta have a safety harness, but we're on a high rise and it's a high building that's being built all the way up there, let alone working cranes where the only way I can get up the crane is if I'm climbing like this narrow ladder and then it's closed in around me off the sides, but still enough space where my hand can slip through. That would send the anxiety very, very high. I'm grateful for my nice cushy job here. It pays well, and I get to be safe from dangerous elements, such as doing anything in construction with heavy machinery or sharp blades or anything that can take me out if I'm not careful. I am so grateful for the job I have right now, because you wouldn't catch me doing stuff like this unless there was an absolute dire, life-changing reason for it to happen. Once had to sit behind your friend's bike while driving in a pitch black road. Had to close my eyes for several minutes so I could calm down. The bike had headlights on, by the way. This reminds me of a story where me and my family, we were living in Germany. And we were coming home from Wednesday night service at the church that we went to. And in Germany, the Autobahn tends to allow you to drive as fast as you want. But on this particular night, we were heading home, back to base, and all of a sudden, the road was filled with fog. And being on the Autobahn, people can drive as fast as they want. However, the roads weren't, you know, like packed as it tends to be with American highways and such. It was pretty sparse. So we were allowed to be on there for a considerable amount of time just driving by ourselves. However, the other thing about the Autobahn is simply the fact that sometimes they don't have guardrails at every corner. Sometimes these the guardrails will keep going for a straight long path, and then they'll cut off when you get towards a turn. So mix in not being able to see a good 15 feet in front of you, going at a relatively brisk speed, and then guardrails that are supposed to be on the corners of the highway are just not there. And a lot of the times, the highways that we went on, it was pretty much high up on a slope. So when we would go around the corner, we would be careful going on that corner because it would just lead to a deep drop-off point. Because some of the areas we lived in were like mountainous regions. So it was, I want to say, the most tense Wednesday night ride back. Simply because the fog and the sparse amount of guardrails on that particular Autobahn was not ideal. I wonder how long the average amount of oxygen in an oxygen tank for a diver of this occupation lasts, actually. And you still got more to go, but he's close to the surface at least. Okay, so this is the before. Wow. He's under the ship. He's literally upside down under the ship. Because this looks like the bottom part of the ship where this fin can slice through it. And this is after. Now, mind you, all these spots that look like they've been eaten away, I think barnacles attaching to the ship is also slightly acidic, which is why it eats away at the metal itself. Which is why people like this are contracted, because of the damage. I believe it's about 15 to 30 minutes. So you probably only have just like a little bit of time to get all of this done before you have to head back up again. Yep, here's the propellers. We are literally just one crewmate mishap away from this being a Final Destination fatality. Because it doesn't take long for ship propellers to start up. And if this guy watched Final Destination, I'm pretty sure that thought has probably popped up in his head once or twice. Here I was thinking like, oh, Kitty won't like this video, so maybe we should switch over to the next one, and I'm still watching it. It's amazing the different types of occupations that exist in this world that many of us don't want to mess with or deal with, let alone actually look into. Well, whoever is resting at the bottom of the ocean is going to have plenty of popcorn barnacle shrimps to eat. Mind you, barnacles and shrimps are completely different, but something's going to be able to partake of these barnacles. With all of them getting scraped off, it's just like a free... It's raining barnacles for whatever likes to eat it. I find the whole experience interesting, as do I. As do I. I don't have an aversion to undersea stuff aside from... Oh, another propeller. And since your boy basically scraped off a whole bunch of barnacles, I think they're coming to eat some of it. That, or they're going after some more fish. Could be worse, you could have a job diving into a reservoir. That's a good point. Or a septic pond. No, no, no. I got chills from that one. Nah, I would hate any septic job. Any septic job. Just imagine the stench on you. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Cool, we're almost done with this video. You're probably not getting enough pay as well for that. I really do think that any person who works in sanitation or anything that involves very dirty, disgusting jobs, they are definitely not getting paid enough. Because it's the type of jobs that people would not want to ever work simply because there's a grand group of people who have an aversion to being dirty in any way. Me, I like to be clean. But I will get my hands dirty if it is necessary. I will literally throw caution to the wind if it means keeping my house clean, if it means cleaning up cars, if it means cleaning up the yard, or whatever it means. I don't care about like dirt and mud getting on me as long as the job gets done. However, there are some people who will look at something like sanitation and be like, oh, that's nasty. Oh, that's disgusting. I can't do any of that. Mind you, I did have to do a little bit of sanitation work when I was working at Best Buy. Because the people who would come in the morning, they would only just clean it in the morning. The cleaning people who were there to make sure the bathroom stayed clean was us inventory people. Mind you, we didn't get any training on keeping the bathrooms clean. It was just basic stuff. But having to keep stuff clean, I've seen my share of horrifying things in bathrooms and sanitation, and I would not wish those horrors on anyone. So anyone whose actual profession is to be in sanitation and septic management and the like, they deserve way more than they're getting paid. Just like people. Kitty, you should not be back. Come back in 30 seconds. Come back in 30 seconds. I'm not playing until you're gone. I need an actual verbal confirmation of you dipping, and then I'll continue to get those seconds out of the way, and then I'll immediately switch over to another video. 30 seconds. Is she gone? I hope she is. I hope she is. Tell me about it. My first job, I worked for Goodwill scrubbing toilets. Needless to say, it was not fun. Oh, it never is. I've seen horrific things in the bathrooms when I was working at Best Buy. Y'all know the story of me when I was told to clean the women's bathroom during work hours. And I asked the manager to tell me if it was cleared out or not. And she said, oh, yeah, it's clear. It's clear. Mind you, she was a temporary manager who was there visiting. She wasn't going to be there permanently. But she was a sub. And she came in and told me, like, oh, yeah, it's clear. I go in there. And then I start cleaning. I start doing the whole thing. And to my knowledge, no other women are inside of the bathroom. So I go like, okay, that's clean. Do you need me to do? Is there anything else that needs to come out? And I say this thinking that there's no other women inside of the bathroom. And then there's a woman in the stall that I walked past who goes, is there a man in here? I get quiet. I tiptoe away. And I vacate that bathroom, and frankly, when it came to cleaning the bathroom, the women's bathroom, I don't think I ever went back in there since. And I worked in Best Buy for about a good 5 years. And I think that was during year 3 or 4. So after that, if the women's bathroom had to be cleaned, I ain't going in there until the people made sure that it was completely cleared out and they had to check all the stalls. But I never trusted that manager ever again. Because I looked at her and I said, I thought you said it was cleared out. Mind you, she's a manager, but I don't care about that. So I look at her and I say, I thought you said it was clear. There's a person in there. She's like, I didn't know. It was your job to check. I asked you to go check. So since then, never trusted her with anything that required actually checking things ever again. She was a manager. And I looked at her as like, I can never trust you with anything so simple. So simple, I tell you. Just check and make sure there's no one in the bathroom. You don't just walk in there and be all like, well, I can't see people's feet from this angle, so that must mean it's clear. No, dummy, you go in that room and you double check every stall. Or you could say, hello, anyone in here? We're about to clean the bathrooms. You could literally ask people. You go in the man's bathroom and say like, hey fellas, we're about to clean up in here, so finish your business so that way we can get it all nice and tidy. Dude, fellas would be like, all right, man, I'll finish up in a minute, then I'll come out. That's man. But what you mean you gonna look, you just gonna peer inside and since there's no one at the sink, it's like, oh, it's clear. Unpacking the PTSD. I still remember it to this day. To this day. Upsetting. Only got a couple of seconds left. I think it's just going to be focusing on the fish, and then we can say we're done. Then we can move on to the next one. This would haunt me in my dreams. This isn't a dream for me. This isn't a dream for me. This was just real. This was just real. Kyushu, you going to be okay? Yes, it was over a decade ago. I can say that it's history now. It was well over a decade ago, so I can say that I don't have to do anything remotely like that anymore, except for, cleaning the bathrooms here in our house, but it's our bathroom, so that's way easier. But that was Risky Dive. Diver scrapes barnacles beneath ocean beauty from deep ocean. So, let's check out the next one. Okay. All right, cool. Okay. All right. So, we got our next one. Our next one is sent in by Kitty. We're doing pretty good with these videos, ladies and gentlemen. There is something I want you guys to see that tends to make me laugh a whole lot. This is Ants in Pants casting. Look at the size of this ant mound sculpture, our largest Texas fire ant aluminum casting. Because for many of us, we only know of ant hills and ant tunnels and infrastructure based on the little videos that we see, on National Geographic and the like. but oftentimes people go the extra mile to physically show you what exists within inside of these tunnels and just how far and how massive they can actually be by essentially filling up the entire ant tunnel with just aluminum, liquid aluminum, which will then harden over time and thus allow people to dig out these entire tunnels so you can see just how far an ant colony will go into the ground. And this is 15 minutes. Goodies today, kit for later. Oh joy. How big is this mound? And you can see that the ground is kind of lightly pushed up from the constant ant activity. Been bitten by ants as a kid, so being near any ant hills gives me goosebumps. I don't blame you. I really don't. Why would he not wear any gloves while tampering with the top? Because the vacuum would suck up any ants that actually try to crawl on the hose. The suction is that strong, so I don't think he's worried about ants crawling on him. People don't realize it, but it's not the bite that hurts. The pain actually comes from the stinger. So if it isn't already immediately obvious, filling up this entire ant hill with liquid aluminum basically kills every single ant inside of these colonies because it's liquid metal going in there. And there aren't that many creatures that's capable of surviving liquid metal pouring over their heads. If it's taking a ton of aluminum just to fill up, this must be a big, massive colony. Because this is going to be the third batch of liquid aluminum going down in there. Remember putting firecrackers inside ant piles and blowing them up when you was little? You so want one of these to put on the bookshelf? Just a liquid aluminum anthill, just a liquid aluminum anthill, just sitting up on your shelf. I mean, you wouldn't have to worry about any ants crawling out of it because they are not exactly liquid aluminum resistant. I don't even think cockroaches are, and those jokers survived everything. Hope it ain't liquid, like you hope that the structure itself isn't still liquid, but solid? I would prefer that as well because liquid aluminum tends to only stay liquid while it's hot. Kind of like adamantium. You gotta keep it hot. The answer probably be like the people of Pompeii. I was literally thinking of Pompeii, or like a Daenerys' brother from, I want to say, the first couple of episodes of Game of Thrones. Ah, man, what is with these eyelashes trying to get in my eye? Remove the slag. There's a reason why this element is no longer present in the Borderlands games. Because you relied too much on slag in order to get through pretty much all of your builds. Now it's really just the skills you use and the items you use as well. And some are better than others. Because we are in the land of Borderlands, we are no longer in the same market of using the penetrator Jacob's knife anymore to do damage. Now characters are capable of doing damage all on their own, which is good. Also, this means that the next story DLC for Borderlands 4 drops literally next month as well. They're not allowing me to rest. How big is the nest? That's a very good question, but considering that we are only at 8 minutes and we still have 7 minutes left, we're still going through the whole process of filling up the remaining holes of this colony. This colony may be even bigger than I originally thought. Ah, the beauty of being able to play a video when play and pause a video when I take my headphones out. Just so I don't miss anything. Yeah, it took 4 buckets of liquid aluminum just to get this far. But I think we're good now, because now it's starting to fill up the rest of the whole section now. Now it's starting to fill up more of it. Instead of it just being in one spot, it's now spread out far enough where it covers the whole mound that he's uncovered. So now comes the spray down to cool it off. So they can start digging around it. You can already see the top part. Bet the ground is hot? I imagine it is. I'm so glad they got this part sped up. Of course, I could always speed it up some more so we can... This music makes it sound like I'm playing a Tomb Raider level. Now you can already see parts of the tunnels starting to peek out through the dirt now. You can, oh, look at that, look at that, look at that. You see the different pockets and chambers. Is this still going towards the bottom? No, there it is. There it is. Now you see way more of it. And you can see that the aluminum made it all the way down towards the bottom even more. Now it's free. So now they got to get the whole thing out, hose it down so you can see every single chamber. Live with your knees, not your back. Look at that. Look at how big that whole area for all of these ants is. How much surface area they took up. Now imagine this was a termite mound. Oh, it would eclipse them in size. I believe they actually did this to a termite mound once. Or a very big anthill in another part of the world. I wonder if someone actually did this for a termite mound. It would take a considerable amount of aluminum in order for them to do that, though. Because termite mounds are taller than people, and they still go into the ground. And now this one wants to slip out the air. But yeah, every single one of these little pockets has a purpose for all of these ants. Food chambers, egg chambers, chambers for the queen. All for millions upon millions of ants. This is basically like a whole city. This is what you would see if you were playing a roguelite and you had to go to every single one of these rooms just to get to the top area. This is a layout of a very extensive Souls-like. Height 30 inches, width 21 inches, weight 64 pounds. That's a country, that's a whole nation right there. That's a whole ant nation. That's crazy. And then they got one, explosions while casting 250 kilograms of ant nests, triple bull ant nest casting 80, 125, and 45 kilograms day one. And that was 2 years ago. But yeah. Yeah. That was Ants and Pants Castings. Okay. Let's go ahead and check out the next one. Oh, this one was sent in by Kitty as well. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we got a couple more. Yeah, we got a couple more. Next up, sinkhole in Louisiana swallows trees.
They moving, John.
Yep, I got it.
Look, right
I
here.
got it.
See if it's moving that much. Oh, that's gone right there. See it right there? Look at it.
Oh, you can see the tree sinking. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Going all in. Oh, that's a big one. Look over there, John, on pad 3. Well, let's get a read.
But wait, there's more? There's more steps to this dance? What you mean, wait, there's more?
All right. Huh? You had a 1-foot wave hit it that way. You have to come back and get it.
It's too quiet. I don't like how quiet it is. What is all this flowing in? Them trees is just gone. Trees that literally tower into the sky, pulled into the ground, never to be seen again. Hold on, I need to see that again. Like, you can see it start to sink, and then it picks up speed sinking. It picks up speed. Look at all those trees, not just the one in front, but the ones in the back. It's a whole section of trees just getting pulled into the ground. Not just the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but all the several trees that's behind them. The whole section moves.
Trees falling. Going all in. Oh, that's a big one.
Man.
Look over there, John, on pad 3. Well, let's get a read.
Just a whole tree gone. Just a whole series of trees gone. Wow. I was expecting like, oh, it's just like one particular tree. No, it's a whole thing of trees and they all got pulled down into a sinkhole that took them all. It's like me eating noodles. It's like me eating breadsticks. Yeah, or me eating multiple fries in one go. Multiple fries in one go is just like that. Mind you, I do not suggest trying to do like multiple fries in one go, but wow. Okay, there was that video. Next up, it comes from our legendary, our very own community gentleman and man of, you know, absolutely 100%, 110% perfect dictation, Mr. Inanis, with our Tinkering's channel of restoring an old PS2. I restored this junk PS2 that won't start. Retro console restoration. Oh, the memories! Also, dirt. Good lord. Whoever owned this PS2 did not take care of it properly. Ah. That's nasty. How you let it get like that? How you let it get like this? Also, it's very ironic that we are checking out a PlayStation product while PlayStation is still moving forward with not having any discs going forward from 2028 for no other reason than greed, because there really is no reason why they would stop discs when they're also still promoting vinyls for music. And, you know, it's still asinine. It's still insane that they think that this is a good direction to go in, because we all know that this decision was not made with consumers involved. It was made with corporate involved. It was made with shareholders involved. Because who cares about the people who still own discs for games that they do want to play like maybe years from now? Who cares about that? Because they're probably not going to have a way for us to play them if they're trying to go to a digital all future, which is why PS5 may be my last PlayStation generation if they don't change course from this dumb decision. I'm still going to play some games that come out for PlayStation, but as soon as they say like, hey, we're done making discs, but we want you to buy our digital only games, I'm like, and also play our brand new console, which will be digital only. I'm good. I don't need to be messing with that. Even her statement is directed at the shareholders, then the customers. Of course it is, because the people who matter most in companies like Sony and the like are not truly the consumers who literally buy stuff from them and have reasons to buy stuff from them. It's the shareholders who give them money so they can do more stuff with it. Not the consumers who keep them in business, but the shareholders who say, like, you can have a couple $1 million. Digital games that will probably cost twice as much as discs. Not only that, but the whole process of, hey, remember when you had a video game and your friend didn't have it? He didn't have enough money to buy it for himself, but you had it. So you just take your game, your physical game, and hand it to him so he can play it. That won't be an option anymore. That whole thing that Sony did saying like, hey, this is how you can trade over games and let other people play your games. They literally made that video originally to spite Xbox because Xbox wasn't allowing you to do that. Now they're literally doing the very thing that Xbox was lauded for the very thing they made fun of Xbox for. And Xbox is stepping up saying like, hey, with our next generation, we're going to make sure that you still are able to play your games. So Xbox is actually taking hold of that situation of Sony making this bad decision and saying like, hey, We're going to allow you, we want you to be able to play your games because you probably still have memories and want to keep making memories. One of my childhood dreams was to grow up and earn enough to buy a PlayStation and host like game nights with my friends. Inanna says he's cleaned newly acquired server rooms that look just like this. It's really sad looking at the state of things. And as a PlayStation owner myself, I'm still going to play PlayStation games. However, I do it in the support of the developers who make the games that I want to play and not because I'm supporting Sony. Sure, there's going to be people that say like, well, if you're doing anything for PlayStation, if you're renewing your PlayStation Plus subscription, if you're buying any more PlayStation games, you're just encouraging them to go forward. Not if I get stuff physical. Not if I just... It really is a procure, and I feel like no matter what I say, in the eyes of these people, it probably still won't matter. That... What was that sound? What sound did I make? What sound did I make? I wasn't even paying attention. But it really does feel like, as a PlayStation owner, that you can't win if you get any new games, you know, starting now all the way up until before 2028. Because if you get any games for PlayStation, people will say like, well, you're just part of the problem. You're still supporting them. And you can't. And mind you, I'm going to get games for whatever system I like. Okay. But I'm not doing it now. I'm definitely not doing it because I support Sony, because this is literally one of the worst decisions they could ever make in their entire history, because it's like they forgetting where they came from. So, but for me, when it comes to me getting my games, I'm only getting them simply because I want to support the devs and not because I support what Sony is doing. Even though some people will look at it that way. I'm here to play games. And if I can get them as physical as possible so I can still enjoy them, then that's what I'm going to do. But I can still call out Sony on their incompetence. Because when it comes down to it, if they do go all digital, that kind of leaves people like me nowhere. Because I'm not buying, if they're going fully digital, then that means every game that I own, everyone, all my PS4 and all of my PS5 games that I have sitting on my shelf, will not be able to play on their new thing if they're trying to go digital only. So that just leaves a vast majority of us up a creek with no reason to go to the next generation. But that's just me. That's just me. And I only said that because we're watching a video of a PlayStation 2 being restored, which was what I want to call one of the peak eras of gaming. Because we got Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction, God of War 1 and 2, the Jack games, there's Ratchet and Clank, all these, why not Q? You can still get game boxes with codes in it. But I don't buy games for the cases. I buy games for the games. And most importantly, games on the discs that they come with. Because that's a sense of ownership that Sony seems to still try and tell people that they don't actually have. Because let's not forget, just because you have a code for something and it's digital does not mean that they can't take it away from you. They literally, last month, got rid of over 200 and something movies that people bought and paid for simply because, oh, we didn't want to, you know, renew our license with this company again. So all the movies that you paid for, they're gone. And this is before they announced that they're going to do away with discs in 2028. So if they can do that to movies and people paid for them, people paid for these things. They bought it with their hard-earned money. And Sony just took that away from them, never to be returned. They can't get that back. They can't even get a refund from that. If they can do that to movies, what's to stop them from doing that to games? Because we've seen over the years that they will delist games from their marketplace and you can't get them anymore. The only reason why I have Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 still, despite them delisting it from stores, because people can't buy it anymore. I was kidding, by the way, Q. I know you were being sarcastic, but I'm like, I don't buy games to have a code on the inside to tell me to download it. That defeats the purpose of you. That defeats the purpose. You can't call it a physical edition or a physical version if all you're getting is a case with a code inside. That makes no sense. Don't give me a case with a code inside, and the case is made to fit a disc. If you give me a game that I bought $60 or $70 with, and I open it, and I see a space, like, you know what? Let's do this for an example. What would be a good one? Because I got Final Fantasy VII Integrate. And I already used this code for Yuffie, but I'm just keep it over there just in case. So, say for example, I go out and I get Final Fantasy Remake Integrate. But instead of the game itself being in there, the case looks like this. Actually, let me move it to this so you guys can see it better. The case looks like this. It has a space for a disc itself, but in place of it, they have just a code that's right here to tell you, hey, this is where you can get your game from, because they really think in their heart of hearts that digital only is the best way to do things. I'm gonna have to clean this later, get some dust off of it. They really genuinely think that cutting out the middleman of having a disc is better for all. But the thing is, like Ian Malcolm said, they sat down and they were so caught up in thinking, if they could, they never stopped and thought if they should. We need to have a separate stream for this. We'll have a different one. Now's not the time. But it's just because of the PlayStation thing that I just went off on a full different tangent. I'm sorry, I just got caught up in that. Let's continue with the restoration of one of the most beloved consoles in history. Whew! Memories of cleaning out my PlayStation fan when I was younger. That thing was infested. That looks like bugs were in it. Crash Bandicoot stickers! We need the video. We need to have a monthly venting stream for this at this point. We need a video. Yeah, we do. Oh, snap. I forgot. Sorry. I forgot. I forgot. I was just sitting down so chill. But let me go back so you guys can see what I see. But look. Yeah, okay, this is where we stopped. Okay, there we go. But look at this thing. I remember cleaning out my fan for my PlayStation 2 as well. Oh, the memories. But it looks like something's been in it. Like, it looks infested. And look, an Aku sticker. I wonder if it was Crash Bandicoot Warped, or was it Crash Bandicoot Warped? Crash Bandicoot Warped: The Wrath of Cortex, I think. And it's not turning on. Now, mind you, my PlayStation 2 can turn on, but I think the laser eye that can read the disc has gone bad. Because the last time I tried to play Hulk, it wouldn't even read the disc, and I was able to do that like a month before. I can't be the only one who would take the screws off of their PlayStation just to see what it looks like on the inside. Many times, I would open up and mess with my PlayStation 2 and forget to unplug it from the wall. So, you know, touching those circuit boards led to a very memorable electrical experience. Yep, you got to be careful because the power button is attached by that same slab. I remember doing the same thing as well. Whew. It's August. I probably need to go ahead and clean my PS5 as well. Just so I can get it ready for all the things we're going to be doing in August and in September. Signs of liquid. Something leaking in there? Probably destroyed by roaches. This is why I vacuum my room on the regular. Mind you, my house does not have any roaches at all. We keep our place clean. But I also want to disable the ability for anything to become too comfortable in my room that it feels like, well, we're going to be resting in the corner of this room. That vacuum is going in every section of my room, cleaning everywhere first. My microphone wasn't exactly centered. Sorry about that. My friend and I once short-circuited a power socket in our physics lab and the whole lab lost power. We got a lot of slack for that. Well, at least you know about, isn't electricity a part of physics, or is it just like electrical science? Because that could be a lesson that you learn. Yep, that's that very same motherboard. That very same, it was a power board. That's what I kept getting shocked by. When I told you I would sometimes forget to unplug my PS2 when I was unplugging stuff from it, and I would open it up, I was touching that power board multiple times. And every single one I got shocked by it, and I'm like, oh, probably shouldn't be doing that, because this is electrically charged. I didn't know. Kitty. Oh, capacitors broke? I didn't put 2 and 2 together, so I messed with it. I'm like, maybe there was static electricity on my hands. But when I touched it more and realized it was still plugged in, that's when I stopped. It took about a good 3 times for me to realize. The groan and sigh from Anonymous just now. Oh, he's listening in. I was very young. Hold on. Give me a sec, everybody. I got to run downstairs and put some things in the trunk. I will be right back. Hold tight. All right, I am back, everybody. Apologies for the wait. Had to carry some things, so if I'm slightly... then I just had to go up and down the stairs multiple times. Once when I was little, while hooking up my cheap console to TV, there was no place to put a live wire anywhere, so you held it... Huh? Kyushu pulled a Sheen from Jimmy Neutron. What I do? But once when I was little, while hooking up my cheap console to TV, there was no place to put live wire anywhere, so you held it by your lips. Once I just learned in class. Pardon me. Comes in twos. But rarely in threes. Just learned in class that electricity can affect the compass, so I was like, I have a compass at home. At home, I straighten a paperclip and put directly to end into the plug, and boom. Thank goodness I was holding it with pliers with plastic grips. Yee. Whew. The things and ways we learn that electricity can affect us way more than we think it can. This almost feels like the same process I went through to install a SSD into my PS5, just so I could have more space. It feels like that delicate of a process. Wow. This is actually not just, console restoration, but this is console restoration ASMR, because all you're getting is just the sound of everything that's being done to this. Laser looks good. I might need to check the laser on my PS2, because I got like the PS2 Slim. Woo! Look at that dust. Look how much it changes colors when all that dust is gone. Yeah, my PS5 is getting a thorough cleaning. Oh, saying I was oh, you're talking about what I had said earlier, way earlier. I'm saying that you had a Sheen moment, except it was with a PS2 motherboard instead of an electric doorknob. Right. I remember that episode. It's when Jimmy was trying to make like this super addictive candy, and he was trying to teach Sheen and Carl about like what happens if I tell you not to touch the doorknob and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, I remember. By the way, you platinum Lego Batman. Nice. I need to get back to work to platinuming that game as well, because I believe in September also. Aw, there's so much dropping. Wait a minute. Hold on. When does the Joker DLC come out for Lego Batman? Because if it comes out in September, I really won't be able to rest. Ah! Okay. The Joker DLC comes out 3 days after Wolverine. I really can't rest in September at all. Really, I can't. Thank you. Who wants sleep? Who cares about sleep? Let's get back to this. First, Wolverine comes out. Well, actually, no. First, the second piece of story DLC for Borderlands 4 comes out on September 10th. Wolverine comes out on September 15th. The Joker DLC for Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight comes out on September 18th. And then we have Control Resonant coming out on the 24th, 25th. Coming out then. I can't rest. You won't let me rest in September. Do you remember the games we had dropped in September? Ooh, look at all that dirt. And Anonymous says that he's seen entire server rooms that look like this? That's crazy. How long would it normally take to clean such a thing, if you don't mind me asking? You know that one free super chat for members? It's not showing for me. I don't know why. I didn't change anything. I know it popped up for Ozzy. It literally popped up for Ozzy at the last One Piece reaction that I did. So it's still a thing. It's still a thing. Is there a way? Hold on. No. That's odd. It's odd that it doesn't show up right now for you. Because you haven't used it recently, have you? Then again, I don't exactly know the full parameters of it. So, it is odd. Now, after everything is done, I want him to boot up the PS2 to hear the iconic music. If he doesn't do that, I'll riot. If it's any relief for you, Q, Wolverine is most probably not an open world game. Oh, I know it's not. It's more like linear story oriented. So I'm not expecting, you know, like Spider-Man levels of like exploration and such. So I'm not too concerned about that. I don't think it'll take me too long to get through Wolverine, but then again, knowing the mechanics will probably be what helps me get through the game in full. But if they support it like they did Spider-Man, there'll be plenty of reasons for me to go back to it. But there's only one way to find out. Mail check, don't worry too much about it. Yeah, I just found it odd. Control Resonant, on the other hand, yeah, Control Resonant is going to be a completely different story. Because Control itself took a while to get through, and there's plenty to do in that. Control Resonant looks to be even bigger than Control 1. Right, I forgot. This is just a cover. I'm like, he put Hope in suicide water. Ever watched any model kit video from B Hobby? I have not. I have not. Yeah, look at all that dirt and grime. All that stuff left behind. Yuck. And that be in people's systems sometime. Battery's dead. Needs to be replaced. Wow, dude did an entire PS2 blueprint shirt from this. Need to clean yours as well. It's been a while. I clean mine's once a month. The fan that you guys sent me through my Throne wish list, I greatly appreciate you guys for sending that to me because it has vastly helped. It has vastly helped keep my entire system clean, not to mention all my other stuff as well. A rechargeable fan that has different settings and different attachments to help me keep my stuff clean. Literally a godsend. Once again, thank you guys for that. Clean yours once every 2 to 3 months. Depending on where you keep it, it determines the length of time in between cleanings. However, for me, I like to do it once a month, so that way it becomes a perpetual habit for me, and so that I never forget. So I always clean it on one specific day, so that way I always know, okay, it's the 1st of August, it's time to clean it. It's the 1st of September, time to clean it. It's the 1st of October, time to clean it. But that's just me. I like to keep my stuff in tip-top shape for every month a new game comes out. At least every month a new game comes out that I intend to play. Okay, I thought I heard that sound too. I heard this like there's a little sound. That sound that happens when you have like a bubble pop in your throat and it sounds like a little bit of a burp, but it just goes like, but it's in your throat. I thought it was me. I thought it was me for a second, but no, it was him. This is a lot of work. Yeah, it is, in order to get each individual part reattached again. And you got to be careful, because one wrong move could ruin this whole entire operation in its entirety. That's the reason why people need to be extremely careful when they are fixing their own high-end PCs. Because they have components where it's like, oh, I need to scrape this one thing off, and then they go straight across a graphics card's inner workings, and you ruin the whole thing forever. And those graphics cards keep rising in price. And I think I read that they're still rising in price. Oh yeah, it's definitely working if it starts working again after he did all this work. If it starts working after this, completely worth it. And I thought cleaning and changing the seismic equipment was crazy complicated. Oh yeah, I like seeing stuff restored as well. This and developer videos for new games coming out. But those tend to be like a guilty pleasure of mine. Okay, we are almost back to this thing being restored. You just got to screw everything back in. Now comes the moment of truth. Once the foundation is back and the stickers and things need to go back where they need to go. Looks almost brand new. Yeah. Way fresh. And a replacement cover for the expansion bay. I never used the expansion bay. So this is how it looked before. Look at that nasty. Look at the nasty. The disgusting. The unsanitary. And this is how it looks after. You could even say that this is just fresh and brand new out the box. That's how clean it is. Ah! Ain't nothing like a clean console. It just changes your whole mood when you look at your console and it doesn't look like it's covered in gunk. It just makes the whole experience better. It makes it better. Look at that! Look at that! Real life Easter egg? What's that building? That building looks very familiar. Oh! Ah, the echoey sound effect of the PlayStation. And he got Jak and Daxter. Dude is based. He's based. Ah, Naughty Dog. Back when you could take them seriously with their video games. This is before Jak 2 when we started using guns.
Watch your back! We remember what happened the last time we were here. It's an ambush, Jak! It's an ambush!
Yeah, this is the only thing you could do in Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, was just simply punch and kick. Jak 2 said, nah, we're gonna give you auto machine guns, we're gonna give you shotguns, we're gonna give you rocket launchers, we're gonna give you miniguns. We're gonna give you straight up nuclear weapons. We're gonna give you gravity guns. We're gonna give you everything. Then Jak 3 says, we're gonna give you powers, such as immortality, the ability to fly, to basically slam the ground and create entire gigantic explosions. If he had played Ratchet and Clank, I would have been like, okay, this dude is 100% awesome. He's only 99% because it's Jak and Daxter, but Ratchet and Clank is my go-to. So there's the fat PS2 and the slim. Woo! Okay. Yeah, this was a good one. This was a good one. I love this one. I love this one. Oh, so beautiful. Okay. So that was, I restored this junk PS2 that won't start from Odd Tinkering. All right. We should have, I think we have 3 more. We got 3 more. And this one comes from Courier. Yeah, this one comes from Courier. And this one's only 8 minutes. This is Crushing Dangerous Steel Parts with Hydraulic Press Compilation Volume 1 from Hydraulic Press Channel. Woo! Did the metal start to heat up from the pressure? The metal started to heat up from the pressure. Because you can see the pieces and the smoke coming from the hammer. Wow, that was the center of the hammer. I know these things can't hit me through my screen, but it's all like, ee! It was deep frozen though? Yeah. So that did actually help with the whole process. You hear those sounds? Deep frozen steel spring.
Okay. Paina se.
It split in half and bounced everywhere.
You can smell like burnt rubber or steel. Bit like if you use grinder and there's like lot of sparks. It has bit similar smell.
Brake disc. Billet piston.
Okay, it's really strong. Holy shit.
This one seems to be the only one that's crushed without issue.
Okay. It didn't explode, but I think it wasn't very far.
Deep frozen socket.
Doesn't look good at all.
Ooh, you see. Whoa! 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 Now, okay, so that one just crumbles. That one just crumbles. All it takes is just some pressure to basically break something that's meant to withstand pressure.
This is going to be great. Okay, here we go.
I don't trust this. Woo!
It might also be that we slightly missed the melon, but hey, the glasses work. Who would guess that the safety glasses work? Yeah. Hey, this is like educational. Here we go.
Ball bearings.
That was great.
I didn't expect the watermelon to survive either. Ball bearings didn't last. And there's still bearings just flying around the area too. Ooh, hold on, did y'all see that? That one bearing fell at the perfect angle to literally swing on the curve of the metal to launch off to the side. It had perfect placement. I actually thought that metal piece behind it was going to catch it and then cause it to go in a different direction, but it just slid right off. And then the rest of it went.
And here we go.
Old axe.
Oi.
It didn't even fly off. It's just a sudden move, and I was like, "Ugh." Oh. Modern axe.
Oi. That's different. Okay, okay. Hey, I think we got some results.
Cast iron pan.
Okay.
Modern frying pan. Bonus paper explosion. Man. Note to self, never stand near exploding paper. Okay, that was the hydraulic press channel. Next up on the list is from Kratos, 71 of the craziest nature clips ever. How long is this? If it's like an hour long, 16 minutes
These are
for
the
70
craziest nature videos from the past 10 years.
Daily Dose of Internet? I have never done a Daily Dose of Internet video on this channel before. I have never done a Daily Dose of Internet on my channel before. Oh, I feel like a big YouTuber now that I'm able to do that. This is my first one. This is my first one. Okay, okay. Daily Dose of Internet. 71 of the craziest nature clips ever. Okay. Whoa.
Hold on. Don't move.
This man went on a tour boat to visit the glaciers in Iceland when a piece of the glacier actually broke off and fell into the water.
Wow. Wow. The wildest thing I've ever tried in my life.
I think we may have
Back
seen
in
this like
2017, Greenland was hit with a tsunami.
I think we may have seen this. I think we may have seen this the video before in like a past. Yeah, I think we may. No way! No!
Back in
I've seen that
2020,
video
This
before.
cruise ship was on its way to Ireland when it ran into some pretty heavy waves. Back in 2016, these people were hiking in Argentina when they realized that they were in a really bad spot.
Guarda, 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 guarda! Fuera, 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 fuera! Fuera!
If they didn't get out of there, they would have been dragged by
This
that.
guy was loading up his car when he realized that he forgot
Okay,
his
we
wallet.
saw this guy before. We saw this guy before. One. Literally 1 second after he left. If he was
Back in
there 1
2018,
second
this
later.
massive mudslide in Switzerland was caught coming down a mountain.
I've already seen. No, I haven't seen this daily dose of internet video. I've seen the video of the big massive wave coming in with those boats and those dudes having to run away. I saw that video before. That one particular video, like the full length of that video. That one I saw, but not this. But not a daily dose of internet video. Not this one. Hold on, got another call. All right, let's get back to it.
In 2023, this driver in China was almost hit by these falling rocks. In 2014, this volcano exploded in Papua New Guinea and it created a huge shockwave.
Here we go. Where do we get the move?
On November 30th, 2018, a 7.0 earthquake hit Alaska.
I think we've seen this earthquake video as well. We've seen quite a few nature videos related to earthquakes and such. So we've seen this, and we saw the
This
one with the guy
volcano
in
in
the...
Indonesia erupted and created some of the craziest volcano lightning you will ever see.
Nothing will stop the return of the Sith!
Nebraska had some pretty crazy tornadoes earlier this year.
That is too close. That is way too close than I want to be
Back
to a
in
tornado.
2019, a super rare event happened that allowed parts of Southern California to receive snow. And they also
Whoa.
got to experience what snow and lightning is like.
Got my umbrella, but I know
Snow.
I know it.
Hold on. What? Snow lightning It can lightning and snow at the same time? What do you... No. Why am I hearing of this at the first time? What you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean snow and lightning can occur at the same time? 34 years old. This is the first I'm hearing of this. Lightning and volcanic explosions, I know of. Lightning and regular thunderstorms, I know of. Regular lightning outside of thunderstorms, I know of. Lightning during snowfall? This is the first I'm hearing of this. Why? Now I can't even trust snow? Because there's a chance that it could come with lightning as well? I know I'm pretty sure that there's some specific weather parameters that needs to go into it. But what you mean lightning and snow can occur at the same time? No, I need to look this up. No, y'all about some foolishness. Weather, you about some foolishness. What you mean? What do you mean? Hold on. Lightning during snow. Thunder snow. It has a name. It's real. And it's a rare winter weather event where lightning and thunder occur during a heavy snowfall instead of rain. It's called thunder snow. We have lightning storms, thunderstorms, regular storms, snowstorms, tornado storms, all sorts of different storms. Why am I just now learning about thunder snow? What? What? And since it snows, that's the... Wow, I didn't realize that. Okay, I'm learning some new stuff. When it snows, the reason why you don't hear too much sound in the air is simply because snowfall is thick enough to absorb sound waves. So that's the reason why when you look at snow falling down, you really don't hear the sound of wind all that much when you're watching it, because it's literally absorbing all the sound in the air. So when a thunder snow happens, you don't even really hear the loud rumble of thunder because the snowfall is masking the sound of the thunder, which leads to the moment where people couldn't even tell lightning was about to hit anywhere because the snow was absorbing the sound. Why am I just now learning that thunder snow is a thing? I didn't know this. The heck? Back to it.
Like, our street is starting to flood.
Imagine seeing this on your way to work.
Perfectly
This is
cut
what the
scream.
It's starting to flood.
Imagine seeing this on your way to work. This is what the morning commute looked like for people driving into Los Angeles back in December 2017.
That California wildfire was absolutely insane when this occurred. Just imagine driving past this and you just see nothing but fire all around you, as if you're in the demon castle of Solo Leveling.
Back in 2019, this giant landslide happened in China.
That's what gave you the creeps? Seeing the video of people driving in California with just nothing but burning trees as far as the eye can see, and people were going, and it's just dark, and all you just see is fires all around you. It's like a Souls boss waiting to emerge. Yeah, it's like going to Caelid. It's like going to Caelid, or what's another location with like tons of fire? Like going into the Lost Izalith in Dark Souls. And just seeing all the magma and fire and everything there. Or going to like one section of Shadow of the Erdtree where it's just nothing but fire all around. Or just like any level of a video game where there's just tons of fire all over. Or literally just going into the hell dimension of Doom. Looking like that.
About 12 months.
That lady with the umbrella, that lady walking with the
Back in
umbrella doesn't
2019,
realize
this giant
how...
landslide happened in China.
doesn't realize how safe she made it by walking away from there. But then again, I see it extending out towards where she is, so I hope she's okay. But you see how quickly that happened? You ain't even got enough time to get in your car, boot it up, and then try and speed off. You literally have no time to get away if you were standing right there when it hit. You
About 12
literally
months
have no
ago,
way.
A super intense tornado went past this guy's house in Illinois.
You can close your garage now.
This hailstorm in Texas was so intense that the hail started coming inside the home. He left something outside in the rain and had to go get it. About 7 months ago, these people in China were dealing with some pretty crazy wind. Here's another rock slide.
Dude trying to hold on,
happened in
isn't he?
China in 2023. Back in 2015, Los Angeles had a very rare tornado event. About 6 years ago, these people recorded their escape from a wildfire in California.
Now this is a Dark Souls environment. You can barely see in front of you. Everything is on fire. And then you come out of
This
it.
reporter in France got a little too close to this wave. Back in 2018 in Hawaii, this car was parked in the worst spot possible.
Look at that! You see the fire eating. Oh, wow.
In May 2016, one of the biggest tornadoes in the history of Kansas was spotted.
That's good.
I know that icebergs are bigger underwater than above water, but this is kind of crazy. In Pakistan in 2018, these people got a little too close to this avalanche. In 2020, this plane was struck by lightning when flying over Finland. This giant boulder came within inches of crushing this house. Unfortunately, 2 other boulders managed to break free and destroy the other side of the house. In 2019, this cruise ship near Norway encountered some heavy seas.
Get that on video.
Officially over.
In 2021, these people were rock climbing in Japan when an earthquake happened.
The worst possible time for an earthquake to happen during a mountain climb. And you're on
The
these
snowboarder
pieces
in
that
Nevada
look like they
accidentally
could
triggered a
fall
giant
apart.
avalanche.
Where's the guy? Where'd he go?
This video from 2015 shows some sailors about to take on a giant wave. In 2021, these firefighters were driving through some pretty crazy wildfires in California.
Once again, we're back in the California wildfire.
A 6.7 magnitude earthquake interrupted this couple's wedding. This dad tried to save his trampoline from being blown away in the wind.
Bennett, get out of there!
He will get taken too.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Bennett!
This video from Guatemala
Not
is
worth
probably
it.
the only video in the world like this.
Dicen que es grande, ¿va mucha?
Whoa!
Miren, cabal, ahorita lo...
A mini cyclone and a volcanic eruption
This is
at the
called a
same
crown
time.
flash, and it was spotted in Florida back in 2020.
I hope it's getting it on the camera. I can't even see the screen. Holy. Whoa, look at that! The red one, you see that?
Sometimes during a snowstorm, you can actually get lightning.
What was that, a crown flash? Hold on. I want to look this up. A crown flash is a very rare weather light show caused by ice crystals, electric fields, and sunlight. It happens at the top of a big storm cloud. Tall beams are what it looks like, bright light, moving fast. The light dances, jumps, and changes shapes within seconds. Another very rare weather light show, weather phenomena. Another one. Okay. Wow. Learning something new.
In April 2022, this massive tornado hit Kansas.
Wait a minute. You see how there was trees? Did you see how there was trees on the left side? You see how there was trees just lined up there? And then as soon as the tornado goes over it, all of those trees are gone. All of those trees are gone.
2022,
Look,
this
just
massive
check it out.
tornado hit Kansas.
All those trees are right there. Every last one of them. Every last one of them. There's not a single tree left standing.
This is what it's like to get struck by lightning when you're in the cockpit of a plane. In 2018, one of the biggest tornadoes in the history of Wyoming was recorded.
That thing is fast, though. That thing is... No, y'all need to look at this just a little bit longer. This is how it looks from a distance. Still keeping up. And the thing is, that truck down there at the bottom isn't even really close to it, like right next to it. So that thing is massive. And all you can do is just see it. Just in front of you. That thing is huge. And just all you can get is, this is the type that no one was hurt. This is the type of tornado you see in a movie where it just has the choir just go like, oh, and it's just big orchestral looming deep foreboding ominous music just playing while this thing just spins in the distance.
Mira. No, el que viene de abajo. No.
In 2018, 4 waterspouts emerged on the coast of Thailand.
What Pirates of the Caribbean nonsense is this? Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 different water tornadoes at the same time. This is something you see in the intro for the Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced Resynced game. This literally happens in the opening intro as you learn to pilot your ship multiple cyclones appear at all times during that whole intro.
A sinkhole in Illinois randomly opened up earlier this year. They were driving down a road in Sydney, Australia when this happened.
Wow! Whoa! Oh my god!
This guy was in a pool when an earthquake happened in Taiwan earlier.
A pool on a roof during an earthquake. Nope. That's an anxiety-inducing thing for me. Being in a pool in any place higher than the ground. I don't trust pools in high places. Let alone, there was this one millionaire video that I watched where it had like a pool on the upper level, and the pool was also see-through, so you could see the pool from the bottom floor. That is a liability issue. But being in a pool, I don't care where it is. I don't trust pools in high places. I don't. I do not. I don't.
This year. This house in Hawaii was devoured by lava back in 2018. These houses in Montana got buried under some tumbleweeds.
You know how there's pools at the edge of the roof? Nope, you won't catch me in that. You won't catch me in that at all. At all. Because all it takes is for the edge of that pool to break from an earthquake. And then that water pools out. And you have no way to stop yourself from being pulled from the force of the water rushing out of the pool. No, I am never getting in a pool, especially a pool that is directly next to the edge of the roof. Even if it's like, oh, don't you want to look out over the edge of the roof itself? Like, no, my fight or flight senses are already going off, just literally thinking of just leaning over the edge, looking out at the city. Sure, it's nice for a movie shot, but not in real life, where all it takes is just for one wrong jolt or an earthquake, and then suddenly that view of the city starts to become the view of the ground, and that's the last view you ever see. I'm sorry, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't see myself doing and messing with that. It's cool to take pictures and all, but there's like no functionality to it. Nope, none whatsoever. Hard pass. The only way I'll get into a pool like that is if I also have the ability to fly. If a mishap happened, that's the only way. If I have the ability to float up in the air, if I can just float up, no. If I can float and keep myself from falling to my death, that's the only way I'm getting into a pool with an edge at the end of a rooftop building. At the end of a roof, that's the only way. I need some life insurance and assurance that I still have a life if I fall. That's the only way it's gonna work. But other than that, nah, you can have it. You can have it. That's a lot of tumbleweeds. Okay.
Oh my god.
Back in 2022, a huge meteor lit up the sky in Idaho. In 2020, a snowstorm in New York mixed with freezing rain, turning their homes into ice. In June 2020, a massive landslide took place in Norway and went into the sea.
Just
All the homes
imagine.
were empty, so luckily nobody was hurt.
An entire series of homes just gone.
In 2022, Puerto Rico had flooding that was so severe that it destroyed this bridge.
I don't think we watched this one before.
In 2019, a glacier in Iceland fell into the water, creating a massive wave.
Run, 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 run!
These tourists on a cruise ship suddenly experience some extreme static electricity. This is actually a pretty scary warning sign, as it means lightning could strike at any moment.
And you're on the deck of the ship where the lining for the guardrails is all metal, but y'all laughing. Y'all laughing and y'all not realizing that y'all are within striking distance. Y'all don't see the danger of where you are? If my hair, and mind you, it's not a lot, I wouldn't be able to tell. But if I'm looking at my sisters or my mom and their hair starts standing up, it's time for us to go indoors. Especially if the guardrails for the ship that we're on is metal, which can be attracted by the lightning. But y'all laughing though. They laughing though. And that lady's just way too close.
In 2019 in Amsterdam, this tornado was created within seconds.
What the f? Yeah, a tornado.
Wyoming had some pretty strong winds that happened earlier this year in April 2024. This giant tornado was seen moving through Canada.
Good on the truck driver keeping things under control. The fact that you just... The thing that gets me...
Let me know if you want to see more videos like this one. And I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Later.
So the thing that gets me about that particular last tornado that was going through is the fact that winds really are fast. That should be obvious, but the winds are really fast. And it's just literally sweeping across the landscape faster than human body can travel, just tearing up everything. But seeing winds move that fast, it truly is terrifying. And we have, I want to say, one last one. I know, Ravi, you sent one in about track down the thief who stole $20,000 of Lego, and you say it's a long one. We unfortunately don't have time to watch it, so I'll probably watch it on my own time. But we have one last video that was sent in by my brother, Laughing Alien. So it's called Ukulele.
The ukulele, an instrument that is inexpensive.
Oh, this is a 13-minute video of him making it. I thought it was just going to be a video of him, you know, like messing with it and trying it out. But it's actually like a whole video of how he turned a ukulele that transforms into a guitar mid-performance. I think it might be best if we just go to the end result. Yeah, if we just go to the end result and see how he does from there. Yeah, I think it might be best if we just go from there, because watching the whole process, I just want to see the end result. And then I'll call it a session because I got to take the boys outside.
And you're like, what do you mean? It really feels like a full-size guitar even.
Now the functional skeleton of the ukulele was completed. But if we just dress it up and expand, it doesn't really look that good. yet. So I reached out to my designer Shervin, and after a lot of iterations, we came up with a design that will take this transformation to a whole other level. So let's put these plates on, because it's finally time for the official performance.
This thing is amazing.
And now, when it perfectly fits in my backpack, let's bring this out in public to see if I finally succeeded making the first ever cool ukulele. I instantly started performing on the street. And at first, I don't think people understood why I was playing such a lame instrument. Until... And from that point, I started pulling it out everywhere.
This is ukulele.
And for the first time in history, I was gaining respect from playing a ukulele. But the ultimate success would be to get this thing on stage in front of a live audience. So I convinced the guitarist of a band to bring this up on his next performance. But when it was time to transform, it got a bit stuck. But eventually, it happened. And there we had it, the first ever ukulele performance that an audience actually enjoyed.
Why did the woman just scream at an instrument? Because she probably never expected it to actually snap open like a transformer before. Okay. Okay, pretty cool, pretty interesting. Pretty interesting for a ukulele to transform into a guitar mid-performance. It was pretty good. It was pretty all right. But I believe that was the last video for today, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say that I think we did pretty well with all the submits that everyone sent in here today. And 3 hours. 3 hours we dedicated to this, which was significantly longer because a lot more people sent a lot more stuff. And I just wanted to say thank you because of that. This was a very wonderful turnout. To everyone here, Ravi, Kratos, Hybrid, Kitty, who else was here? Ozzy, Anime Gamer, Holster was here, Rox was here, everyone who, High Dragon, everyone who showed up here today submitted something, Ozzy as well. To everyone who submitted something, thank you for tuning in. This was wonderful, and I'm looking forward to the next People's Choice video stream where we get to check out some of the crazy stuff that you guys send me. Thank you for being so awesome. Thank you for all your support. We're at 6.32K subscribers, and we keep pushing towards 100K. We'll get there eventually, but I'm just happy to enjoy this journey along with the rest of you. But that's all that I have for today. So, with that being said, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Even check out my membership here on, and if you would like to support the channel, check out my membership here on YouTube or over on Patreon, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. And because I know you're coming back anyway. Have a fantastic day, and once again, as all this thing's trying to slip out, always later, peoples.